If we haven't met yet, my name is Dr. Brooklyn Storme and I'm a private practice specialist. Welcome. Today's quick video is all about giving you a KickStart action plan to help you get clients quickly. Now, of course, I'm doing these bite-sized little videos on my Facebook business page, so for 90 days. So if you want to go and see more, head over there, and let's get started. Let's dive right in. So one of the first things that you would do if you were new and you hadn't had much experience with clients yet, or you don't have many clients in the books that you've worked with previously, one of the first things to do is going to be, of course, to leverage your current network. So for anybody that's in the communities like the Counsellors Connect Australia group or the Australian Professionals in Private Practice group, things like that, refer to each other, okay? If you've got availability, let people know that you've got availability. I'm more than happy for you to share that information in the group, but don't just say you've got availability. Let us know, let us know who you work with, what your hours are, all those kinds of things, so that we can refer to you. We need that information. If your practice isn't referable, you're not going to get referrals. So use existing networks. If you don't have existing networks in place, just start creating them. Start putting the feelers out. Let people know, hey, I specialize in whatever it is, grief and loss for pet trauma, or that's not a good one, but you know what I mean. If you have a client that's needing this at the moment, please let me know. I have availability today, I have availability tomorrow, those kinds of things, right? Here's how to get in touch with me. And don't send people to your website. If you're speaking with people in one of our communities, just say, send me a message or comment below or something like that, okay? That's one way. The other way is to reach out to potential third-party providers. Now, when you're first starting private practice, one of the quickest and easiest ways to build your practice is with EAP work, okay? Now, it doesn't pay as much as private practice, and there's a reason for that. There's actually, you could call them maybe levels or categories or something like that, but just so you understand, when you're working in private practice, you might set your session fee at, say, I'm just going to use round numbers, but you might say, I'm going to set my session fee at $200. But when you subcontract to somebody, you usually get around half of that. You usually get around maybe the $100. It's going to vary depending on the provider and the demand and maybe your qualifications or your background and things like that. Of course, there's going to be variation, but it would look like the variation would look like 80 to 120, right? And then if you're working for somebody, it's going to be about a quarter. So it's going to be around 45, $50. It really depends on the award that they're using, what the role is, what the description is, da, 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 da. And each of those has different advantages too. Like, if you're employed, you might take home less money, but you're going to get paid leave for 4 weeks and, parent leave and caregiver leave and all those kinds of things that you don't get when you're in private practice and you're working for yourself, which is why you have the bigger fee. But anyway, just want to share that. The other thing is speak to third-party providers. So EAP could be a great one. I was speaking to some of the community for Diploma Counsellor Society yesterday and was asking them who do they recommend to. Talus Health seems to be a popular EAP, and Workplace Options seems to be a popular EAP. I used to do work for Convergence and Acacia Connect. So there's a whole bunch out there, and I've got other trainings that you can go and see on my YouTube channel that show you exactly what to do to connect with EAP providers and start to get some working. That's really quick turnaround depending on, I guess, who you get on the day and all those kinds of things. You can go and watch the YouTube channel for more information about getting registered with an EAP. The next thing to do is I wouldn't bother with doctors. If you're needing work like yesterday, I would not bother with doctors. If you want to go and speak to GPs. Again, there's training, it's either in this group and on the YouTube channel, that shows you exactly what to do to set up GP meet and greets and what the process is, so that you can get high conversions. If you don't know what you're meant to be doing, you're going to wing it and then you'll go along and it's not going to result in anything. We don't want that. We want you to actually go along and have it be a successful meeting so that you do get clients. But there are other providers that you might be able to connect with in the meantime. That's going to be different for all of you depending on things like your niche. But you might want to reach out to other community groups, things like that, and just see, let them know who you are, how you help, what you do, all those kinds of things, and ask if you can leave some information with them, or can they, make space for you to maybe go and do a quick presentation or something like that. The other thing that you can do is you can use online therapy platforms. So you can go and register for directories. Again, I've already given you this information, but those of you who are new to the group may not have it yet. But there is a document that I shared that's got all the list of directories that you can go and advertise in. Some of them are better than others. I think the best directory for you to be in is Psychology Today. Again, it's a mixed bag of results because you have to know what to write in order for it to convert. Now, there are people that get, a steady flow of inquiries from their Psychology Today profile because they've written it the right way. But there are other people who've written it and they get nothing, and then they say it's a horrible platform and it doesn't work for them. That's not true. It might be a true experience for some people, but with an understanding of what needs to go in that profile, you can absolutely start to get referrals within 24 hours. And I know this because some of my clients have. So if you haven't done a Psychology Today profile yet, you can do one. They're free for the first 6 months, so you've got time to delete it if it's not working for you. If you need some help getting it to convert, let me know. Psychology Today is its whole other little thing. For those of you who've been in my world for a while, you would have already downloaded my free Psychology Today Booster Profile Kit. For those of you who are new here and you would like it, let me know and I'll get it over to you. The other thing that you can do is with your marketing, offer same or next day appointments. So whether or not you're getting on the phone and you're ringing people, or you're doing your networking, things like that, let people know that you've got a quick turnaround. This can be super helpful and can really help you get clients. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say on this too was that sometimes, this is just going back to the medical centres, but sometimes people will say, well, I can't go and promote myself down at a medical centre because there's already a psychologist there. Now, if you are a psychologist watching this and you're thinking you would like to go and speak to the doctors, but you can't because there's an existing psychologist there, just be mindful of any stories or beliefs that might be getting in the way of you and the outcome that you want, because at plenty of time medical centres can and do accept more than one psychologist to work there without upsetting or offending the original psychologist, because they have high volume. It means that they can get their patients seen more quickly. Plus, also, you might have an extra area of expertise or special interest that the current psychologist or accredited mental health social worker that's working there doesn't have. So never assume because there's already a psychologist or a mental health social worker working at one of those places, you can't. You absolutely can, and it shouldn't stop you from putting yourself out there. The other thing that you can do is if you have a little bit of a following, if you've been doing marketing and you've got a little bit of a following on your social media, you can absolutely do something with your social media. I would be creating some kind of incentive, like maybe a lead magnet or something like that, that could help clients but also create opportunities for them to work with you, but also opportunities for them to get some help and support from you quite quickly. Uh, Another thing that you might do is you might offer to provide a free workshop or talk in exchange for an opportunity to network or promote your practice. So, on the peninsula, we used to do this with schools. We'd go out to the schools and run parent nights and things like that. And we do those free of charge. So, we talk to parents about things like autism and how it can show up and how it affects all members of the family, because at that time, there were families in my area that were feeling like all the focus was on the children, but then there were siblings that were being impacted and affected, and of course it was affecting parenting dynamics and stuff like that. So we met that need by going out and doing little, 45-minute talks every now and again in exchange for the ability to promote. And we just took an iPad with us and we booked people into Huluxy straight after the sessions. It was that easy. The other thing that you can do is you can set up a Google My Business listing. If you haven't done that yet, that would be amazing. Just go and create and claim your Google My Business profile. You can do it even if you're working from home. I have a strategy for how you, a process rather, not strategy, for how you can do that when you're working from home, from your home residence. That's in the More Clients Marketing Program. So if you're a student there, you've already got access to that information. But for those of you who are working, you've got an address you're happy to have public, certainly if you haven't done it yet, activate your Google My Business profile. And then if you are in the mood and you are open and willing to do something like, urgent care, or maybe you are happy to do some crisis work, of course you can let people know that you're happy to do that sort of work for them as well. But they're just some quick start things that can get you some clients. Um, at the end of the day, there isn't really a super quick way of getting you a client. What needs to have happened prior is you need to understand what marketing is, and it's a lot more than maybe you might think it is. I know sometimes we put stuff up on social media and we say, oh, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and everything. Well, you're posting, but you're not marketing. And look at what your conversion rate is. So some of you might have great conversion rates, while the majority of you perhaps don't get many or any inquiries or bookings from your social media. It's because you need to have a marketing plan, and then you need to have a marketing strategy. Private practice happens in 90-day cycles. So if you're going to open, on the 1st of January, then you probably need to start implementing your marketing on the 1st of October, so that then when you do open in January, you open and you've got clients in the diary. That's usually the ideal scenario. But yeah, you need to have a lot of foundations in place first. It's really hard to do quick marketing, emergency marketing. The other thing that's going to help you too is a couple of things actually. Number one, valuing this time that you've got, valuing the quiet time, because it's allowing you to sort some of this out. And maybe if you haven't got a marketing plan, create one. And put a strategy in place to support it. And it doesn't have to be complicated, but it has to be something that feels comfortable for you, something that you're happy to implement, something that you're capable of implementing in terms of your time. It's not going to add too much to your time. We want to reduce the amount that you're doing. And only just focus on, the 5% of things with your marketing that are actually working and going to get you some traction. The second thing is make sure that you've got good business processes in place. So there are some practices that do get like high volumes of inquiries and bookings, but they have a lot of trouble with retention. And that's as a result of just some business foundations that just haven't been put into place yet. So make sure you've got all those kinds of things sorted out. If you're in the private practice certification, you know how to do that, so you're going to be just fine. And then the third thing, of course, is your mindset. So if it's all feeling like scary and panicky and you're feeling desperate, where am I going to get a client, da 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 da, the heart's racing, all of this, I would step away from the computer for an hour or so and do whatever you need to do to ground yourself, because while you're in that energy of panicking and feeling quite flighty and things like that, it's just going to be that much harder for you to focus. Your attention will be scattered, you'll make mistakes, and it's not going to be good for your confidence. It's much better if you can come, be focused, do one thing, get it sorted out, and then go. Okay? So those would be some things that you can absolutely get started doing. Something else that you might want to try, and I can do a whole other video on this for you, walking you through the process, but you might want to also try joining online communities for where your ideal client might be spending their time. So if it's busy working single mums of children who are neurodivergent or something like that, find those communities online, join those communities. And what I would suggest is maybe just hang back, get a feel of the place so you can read the room. Don't be posting that you've got availability or anything like that. Just hang back, see what's going on. If somebody has a question or a comment and you feel like you can answer, by all means, go and answer it. But don't include links. Don't say you're a, whatever, insert practitioner here. Don't say you're a psychologist or a counsellor or a social worker or anything like that. Just be helpful, okay? What will happen is if you start being helpful, people will start noticing that, and then you will start getting inquiries. So maybe you could have some kind of process, if it feels okay for you and if it feels aligned for you, to join one or two communities. You don't have to join 10, just do one or two communities. Just make sure that the communities are active. You can see this when you go to join a community. It will say how many posts that there were in the last week or so, or in the last day or so. It will say how many members. It will usually say about engagement. So find one or two groups that feel good for you, request to join, and when you're in there, just be helpful, right? It's you being in service. It's you giving before you take. That's all. And then I would just, coming back to what I was saying, I would just get in the habit of connecting in with those one or two groups each morning or each evening, right? It only has to take 15 minutes of your time. But if you did this consistently, you would start to position yourself as an expert in the field, or as somebody who's helpful, or someone who's knowledgeable and things like that, and you will attract inquiries to you, and you can get a quick turnaround with that as well. So there's some ideas. It's not exhaustive. Different ideas will work for different people based on your personality, based on your values, based on your practice, all those kinds of things. So just listen to this video, maybe watch it again, and have a pen with you or something like that. You don't have to do all of the things. It's not about that. It's about listening out for the one thing you might be able to start doing today in order to get a result by the end of the week or by the end of next week or something. Okay, just one thing. And it doesn't even have to be one of these things that I've said. You might get inspired to go and do something else based on some of this. Okay, my intention here is to give you some quick guidance so that those of you who needed a boost in bookings understand a few of the ideas. And if you have more ideas of what people can do, if you're in private practice and you've got the fully booked diary and things like that, feel free to help out our colleagues by letting them know in the comments down below any suggestions that you might have for them. Remember, kindness is key. It can be very scary and daunting when you're just new and you feel like you're doing all of the things and it's going nowhere and you're on the brink of giving up. So please, let's show them some compassion. Let's show them some understanding. Let's give them some helpful tips and guidance so that they can start to get their practices off the ground as well. Have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.